Are you a Canadian citizen who likes to travel abroad? Wait, what? You don't have a momentary passport? Well, no problem. You can apply for a Canadian Facilitation Visa. It helps you travel in and out of Canada. Sweet, right? Hi, this is Max from the Visa Library. In this video, I will explain Canadian Facilitation Visas, people who can get them, requirements, the application process, fees, and so much more. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, no time is better than right now. Do it so you can stay updated on visas and get a free cheat sheet for this visa at the end. Let's go. What is a facilitation visa? There are many cases when a person has two citizenships, one from Canada and one from a foreign country. The facilitation visa helps the traveling of a Canadian citizen with a dual citizenship to go to Canada. In some cases, these people don't have a Canadian passport, but they should visit Canada for a short time. Because of this short time, they can't get a Canadian passport, so they need to get the facilitation visa. People who have a facilitation visa can enter Canada with a foreign passport, but officials will consider them as Canadian citizens. They can stay in the country for only a limited time to do what they want. Then they must leave the country. The Canadian authorities advised you to get Canadian passports so you won't have to get a facilitation visa in the future. The government does not issue this visa easily. I have to say this. You should provide a solid reason to get this visa. Also, you must be in a situation where you cannot get a Canadian passport. Additionally, if you have dual citizenship with a Canadian citizenship, but the foreign country does not allow a second citizenship, then the government of Canada will not issue a facilitation visa. Sorry. The officials at the Canadian consulate are advised not to issue this visa if the applicant is trying to hide their Canadian citizenship because the other country does not allow dual citizenship. Now, what are the eligibility conditions of a facilitation visa? Number 1, prove your Canadian citizenship through your certificates. 2, you should prove you don't have a Canadian passport for beyond your control reasons. 3, prove you need an urgent trip to Canada. For example, your documents have got stolen or lost, or you're visiting Canada for the first time and you have dual citizenship, or you have dual citizenship but couldn't get a Canadian passport before leaving, or you are born in Canada from foreign parents but they returned to their country and did not claim your Canadian citizenship, or you are or were a child who went through an adoption process in a foreign country and that country only allows you to leave through their national passport. Another situation, you are under 18 and live with Canadian parents for humanitarian reasons, but you don't have a foreign travel document. In this case, you should provide evidence that one of the parents in Canada is a Canadian citizen. Now, how can you apply for the facilitation visa? Let's see. If you meet the eligibility conditions, then you may submit a direct visa application to the Canadian Embassy in the foreign country where you have your second citizenship. You must submit the temporary residence visa forms. The processing time depends on the embassy workload. They will either give the visa or deny it. They will inform you of the denial reason. Now, what are the documents for the Canadian Facilitation Visa? Number 1, a valid passport issued from the government you have your other citizenship. 2, proving you couldn't get a Canadian passport because of the reasons beyond your control. 3, proving you should go to Canada for emergency reasons. 4, your financial statements to prove you have enough money to afford your trip to Canada. 5. Your declaration letter to the Canadian government. It must explain why they should give you a facilitation visa. 6. 2 photos according to the Canada photo requirements. 7. Your medical examination forms. If the consular office asks them, you need to get some medical forms. So wait for them to ask. 8. Your education, your employment status through a diploma or resume. Also a letter from your employer to prove your contractual obligations. Number 9. Proving you're a Canadian citizen, such as your Canadian certificate or citizenship, certificate of naturalization issued before January 1st, 1947, certificate of abroad birth registration issued between January 1st, 1947 and February 14th, 1977, retention certificate issued between January 1st, 1947 and February 14th, 1977, and birth certificate from a Canadian province or territory. This birth certificate is accepted unless you were in a certain situation at the time of your birth. For example, one of your parents was a diplomat or a consular officer of a foreign government. One of your parents was an employee or representative of a foreign government. One of your parents was an officer or an employee of a specialized agency of the United Nations. One of your parents was an officer or an employee of an international organization with diplomatic privileges or immunities. Or none of your parents were Canadian citizens or permanent residents of Canada. You should also pay the application fees. Once you submit the documents, the officials might ask about the purpose of your visit, your official duties, and your biometric information. Let's answer another question. What are the facilitation visa fees? You must pay 100 Canadian dollar for visa application fees and $85 for biometric fees. Once your application gets approved, you have to pay the fees for passport processing, about 45 Canadian dollars. Yeah. How long is the facilitation visa processing time? The facilitation visa is for emergencies, so the processing time is quite short. It can take a few days to get a response from the consulates. They will either give you the visa or deny you. Sorry. How long is the facilitation visa valid? The Canadian Embassy grants the temporary residence visas for a few months or a few years, but you cannot stay for more than 6 months. Yet, the facilitation visa is valid for a shorter time. You should state how long you need to stay in Canada for your emergency. The Canadian Embassy will think about it and they will give you the visa needed only to handle your emergency. One more question. Can you bring your dependents to Canada with a facilitation visa? It is difficult to bring your dependents to Canada with a facilitation visa. The officials may allow only if they are important for your emergency. If not, they should apply for a visa that suits them, like a, Canadian visitor visa. They won't need a visa if they have a Canadian passport though. Your spouse and minor children are your dependents in this case. So, that was it. Now you can go and start your application to get a Canadian facilitation visa. If the steps were so confusing, don't worry. I put a cheat sheet on our website. Go ahead and download it. Link in the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if it helps YouTube's algorithm. If you have any type of visa you want to know about, write the name in the description and we will make a video for it. Thank you all for watching.